Once upon a time, there was a young shepherd boy named David who lived in Israel. He was the youngest of 8 brothers and often tended his father's sheep in the fields. One day, a terrible war broke out between the Israelites and their enemies, the Philistines. The Philistines had a giant warrior named Goliath, who was over 9 feet tall and wore a heavy armor of bronze. He challenged the Israelites to send their best fighter to face him in a one-on-one combat. Whoever won the duel would decide the fate of the war. But no one in the Israelite army dared to fight Goliath. They were all terrified of his size and strength. Even King Saul, the leader of the Israelites, was afraid to face him. David's father asked him to take some food to his brothers who were in the army camp. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's taunts and saw the fear in the eyes of his fellow Israelites. He was filled with courage and faith in God. He said to King Saul, "I will go and fight this Philistine." King Saul was surprised by David's offer. He said, "You are only a boy, and he has been a warrior from his youth. How can you fight him?" David replied, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." King Saul agreed to let David fight Goliath. He gave him his own armor and sword, but David could not wear them. They were too big and heavy for him. He took them off and said, "I cannot go in these, for I am not used to them." Instead, he took his staff, his sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. He approached Goliath with confidence and said, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I will strike you down and cut off your head." Goliath laughed at David and cursed him by his gods. He said, "Come here, and I will give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." As Goliath moved closer to attack, David ran toward him. He took out a stone from his pouch and slung it at Goliath's forehead. The stone hit him with such force that he fell to the ground, face down. David ran and stood over him. He took Goliath's sword and cut off his head. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they turned and ran away. The Israelites chased them and won a great victory that day. David became a hero in Israel and a friend of King Saul. He grew up to be a mighty warrior, a wise king, and a man after God's own heart.